What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about Sackboy's, I guess, getting erased from PlayStation's history. Although this is not the greatest of topics. This is something I just saw a random article on. It actually came from Radic, who's an amazing follow on Twitter. If you don't follow him, really does a lot of PlayStation, but just gaming stuff in general. So he went to see Until Dawn. I guess this would apply, by the way, for anybody that went to see the Until Dawn movie. You know, they do the PlayStation, productions, animation in the beginning. I don't think it really captures all of PlayStation. Actually, it's something I just realized going through this entire arc of Sackboy. Sly Cooper, I don't think has ever appeared on this thing. Now, yeah, I know he's old and all that jazz, and you think to like the history of PlayStation, with even like Crash Bandicoot. Obviously, you can't put that here, but it means so much. I think Crash means so much to PlayStation, at least back in the day. So, while I do like it, they kind of just have followed a trend of everybody doing, an animation like this. And then also, to be fair, have they ever really encapsulated all of PlayStation? And the answer, I believe, is no. And you can see they made a couple different changes. And in fact, they actually changed like where Astro is. They swapped him. But you could actually see like on the far right side, Sackboy's in the 2023 version from Gran Turismo, and he's completely gone from Until Dawn. And that hurts. That actually, that's, again, as I just said, it's not like these things were ever perfect, but to erase and to literally like to take him out, I don't really think that's very fair. And it does follow suit because you look at what's happened with LittleBigPlanet. I mean, it's something that I've tried to cover, like how, basically what they've done with LittleBigPlanet 3, right? And again, the erasing of pretty much everything LittleBigPlanet, right? That was kind of the hub of housing all of it, and what they did with like the user levels and all that jazz. I mean, it's a whole arc, and maybe we can break it down in greater detail in a different video, but you could look it up just really quickly of like, what happened. LittleBigPlanet is effectively dead. Sackboy is effectively never coming back. And the articles that I've seen, talking about this have kind of spun it like, has Astro replaced Sackboy? I will say that is a pretty fair, like, if you were to replace one with another, like, does it make sense? Like, here's the thing with Astro that I love Astro, okay? Astro Bot's a phenomenal game, and Astro is a character, but, really what I think Astro Bot and really Astro's Playroom has done so well is it shows the history of all things PlayStation. He's not so much a mascot as he is like a way, like an instrument to show off the other mascot. Does that make sense? Like, he's a mascot in the sense that he can kind of transform into anything, right? And in his games, anybody can kind of appear, and they appear like a bot. So it's, through that medium, but they're still showing off like all the other things. So I've never liked the idea that like Astro has to be like PlayStation's #1 mascot. I mean, yeah, could he be a mascot? For sure. And I think just in general, PlayStation it's dwindled. I mean, you look back at the remember like the PS3 gen, and this is something that like Radic has posted on Twitter before, but I remember these too, okay? You think about like those advertisements, like kind of around All-Stars, PlayStation All-Stars, right? You think about the ads, like the live action ads where like they're all in like a bar, and it's like, that was like some of the coolest stuff. I don't know, like you will never see that again. You know what I mean? And that was just so freaking cool. But I also think PlayStation at that time they were kind of like at the forefront, the newer mascots, and then they still respected what came before it. And by the way, I think that's what All-Stars, I think, really showed me like they did so freaking well, because you look at All-Stars and you say, that really captured a lot of the newer stuff, but it also did do so much of the older stuff. And I just feel as time has gone on, the mascots are what? Like, Aloy is a huge mascot. Like, Ellie. You could say Joel, but I mean, like, that. I don't know how long that's going to even last. But, like, there's not from, like, 20... I would say 15, but let's go even further, because, like, Uncharted ended at 2016. From 2017 on, there just are not that many mascots. So it's fine that Astro gets to join the ranks. I know I'm making a big deal out of it, and I'm, rambling like I always do in these videos. But I don't know. I don't like to see, you erasing these type of things. Like, why do you have to take Sackboy out? Isn't it already enough that we've effectively killed off LittleBigPlanet as a franchise? Now you got to remove him from that. And I mean, granted, that's probably why, right? Like, LittleBigPlanet as a franchise is effectively dead. So why have, like, I get it. I understand it from their nefarious, brains, but it's a little hurtful, but because you don't actually need to do it. But I do understand it, because it's like in another couple years, people aren't going to care. Nobody really cares now, for being honest, right? A handful, couple thousand of people would care, and a couple years it's going to be even less. So I get it, but it's not an ideal thing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed subscribe to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.